The time has come to protect seriously ill patients from arrest and imprisonment, especially when hearing the stories of other states subjecting patients to prosecution for their medicinal use. There is no greater price than the price of freedom, for I fight for my freedom upon each day I wake, not by the law of the land, but by the law of illness. This is what dictates my day. This is what calls the shots. There is no man, no law greater than the eternal confrontation of disease, what I myself and many others are having to face today. For some there is no turning back, and while our dragons may consume our bodies, know that they will never consume our spirit, our courage to seek the medicine in cannabis that is helping us. If you can relate, then you know the price of the oncoming storm, of the darkness, and of the dragon that lurks within. The sole intent of disease is to be a whisper in the ear, to remind you of your difficulty and all that you should fear, that your only purpose in life is to simply wait to die. Disease is an act of consumption with a non-discriminate nature that can affect our families, friends, co-workers, children, and even ourselves. It's a battle beyond imagination or comprehension, a sacrifice that can be detrimental to that of life, the body, mind, and soul. We have a sacred value in accepting what one cannot change, in accepting what one cannot alter, in not taking our abilities for granted. It's a true test of courage, and the darkest of paths we're willing to take to overcome and conquer the obstacles that stand in our way. Fear and intimidation is an all too real experience when coming out of the cannabis closet, but nothing compares to the weight one carries by not coming out, by not saying anything, by living life in secret. With 76% of U.S. doctors in favor of medical marijuana, there are many across the country coming out. But we have many here in Texas who still live under that shadow. The times are changing. Therefore, we shall not sway from our efforts. We shall go to the ones who suffer. Go to the ones who could not be here today. Go to the ones who've been neglected, abused, and misunderstood. Go to the ones consciously unaware of their true potential. Go to the ones lost in the knowledge of nature's medicinal truth. We didn't ask to be put on this battlefield, pitting policy against patients. We didn't ask to suffer the repercussions of fear, disease, and incarceration. It's not like we can put our condition on a back shelf and act like it's not there. Remember, taking that first step is truly where the first act of empowerment begins. It's about increasing our capacity to make choices and to transform those choices into desired actions and outcomes. Empowerment is a process of awareness that leads to acceptance, knowledge, manner, and self-discipline. The greater our self-confidence, our self-discipline, the lower our fears and intimidation will be in making the change we seek. We must evolve ourselves, learn from the mistakes of others, and stay focused to the sole objective that not only fuels our purpose, but also fuels the trial and truth that we all embody. We need to encourage each other, our seniors, our veterans, our patients, our fellow brothers and sisters, our families. 2015 isn't far away, but neither is 2017. If there's an answer in cannabis for the painful muscle spasms, if there's an answer in cannabis for the stiffness and contortion I endure, if there's an answer in cannabis for the loss of sleep, for the loss of appetite, then I shall not stay silent. This is my body, and how I choose to alleviate my pains is solely up to me. Patients for whom the standard legal drugs are not safe or effective are left with two terrible choices: either continue to suffer or obtain marijuana illegally and risk suffering the consequences. The canons of truth are upon you when harsh, uncompassionate laws criminalize patients for using their medicine. The canons of truth are upon you when arguing that sick people should continue to suffer in order to protect children. If they want to talk about the children, then let's talk about the children. The canons of truth are upon you when a little girl named Charlotte Figge in Colorado, who suffered up to 300 seizures a week due to a severe form of intractable epilepsy, is now seizure-free due to a high CBD, low THC strain of cannabis oil, appropriately named Charlotte's Web after her. The canons of truth are upon you through the eyes of many other children jumping onto the Texas Exodus to Colorado, having no other alternative but to relocate due to the illegality of medical cannabis here in Texas. The canons of truth are upon you when the medicinal properties of cannabis can bring a little child out of an epileptic catatonic state, out of the darkness to where her parents can meet her for the first time. The canons of truth are upon you when we look into that child's eyes and see that alone is worth the sacrifice of our own lives and all that we are fighting for. I would gladly give my life 4 times over than to see a child suffer. It is necessary to reveal the truth of what one endures. It can open the eyes to those who are blind to the trials of disease and disability, what they have never gone through firsthand. As warriors caught on this battlefield, it is imperative that we gain victory over what is destructive in our lives and become an emissary for what is good in our lives. A warrior of the Spirit stands up for and defends what is right, defends the innocent, and lives for honor and justice. We honor those who protect us, who are willing to sacrifice themselves for our defense, who strive to live with integrity and honor and practice the discipline to do so. Spiritual warfare is not about brashly marching forward to conquer the world with our own agenda or about forcing our will. We need to think of the big picture, for our actions of today greatly affect the outcomes of tomorrow and future generations to come. No real decolonization can ever exist unless it protects the rights of all, regardless of our individual choice for how we use it. We need to keep with the knowledge that each word of what we express has its own power and place. Therefore, we must be mindful of what we express and the manner in which it's expressed in. We must have an awareness of our own strengths and weaknesses, an accurate understanding of the process of legislation, but most importantly, we must seek a higher aim than just momentary satisfaction. We cannot ascend beyond the entrapment of isolation, beyond the clutches of desolation and fear, if we continue to allow the repercussions they bring onto us. It's in how we wield our inner strength, our spiritual sword, that enables us all to confront these demons and dragons so courageously and without fear. How much longer shall we suffer these injustices? How much longer shall we endure the death of our liberties? How much longer shall we withstand the wretchedness and consumption of disease? It's about facing the dragon eye to eye and conquering the ultimate chess game from within, not about turning away out of fear or denial. It's about becoming something you thought you never could be, and taking to heart that which doesn't kill us only makes us stronger. We will win by no longer allowing the mighty mountains of desperation to exist, by continuing to fight these unseen battles and setting ourselves free from the consequences of our fear, from the depravities of our silence. We will win by conquering the journey, by being that book of knowledge, by being that magician, by being that machine, and simply by making ourselves immortal. Free the leaf, and thank you, my friends.